Yo, how are you guys doing today? I'm doing great, and I'm going to be talking about the top 5 contenders in each division and how they fare against the champion of each division. Yeah, I'm really not going to try to waste too much time again. It's going to be a fast video, man. Yo, alright, first we got flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja, and to be honest, he's the most deserving to go up and challenge for double champ status. I believe we all know that. His top 5 contenders are Brandon Royval, who he's already beat twice, I believe. He's coming off a good win, though. He actually just beat Tattoo Rotaro, who I believed was the most likely to beat Alejandro Pantoja. Now I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. Brandon Moreno, he's also beat twice, if not 3 times, I think. Amir Abazi, he hasn't fought yet, but Amir is not. I think Amir's a little overhyped. I don't think he's as good as actually people think he is. He lost to Brandon Moreno, and I don't. Well, maybe he's good. He's definitely, I think, well deserving to be in the top 5, but I don't think he's good enough to beat Alejandro Pantoja. KKF, the guy that's fighting for the title next. They've never fought before, which I think they want some fresh blood. They're excited for KKF. He's obviously from the same gym as Izzy and Volk, so of course they're gonna want KKF to challenge. I think Pantoja actually subs him though. I'm not gonna lie. I think Pantoja subs him too. And Tatsuro Taira, like I said, the guy that I thought was actually most likely to beat Alejandro Pantoja out of anybody. You're like, bro, come on, Manekop's not gonna do it. I see this guy getting predicted a lot. I don't think Manekop's the fucking guy. When he's on, bro, he's good, but like I still don't think he's gonna be Alejandro Pantoja. Tatsuro Taira, I think he's really even. He has like I think like 7 subs, 5 knockouts, something like that. The record's not too crazy. He was undefeated before Brandon Moreno. A lot of first round finishes, I think, but I think like half his fights are first round finishes. I don't know, man. Now after seeing him lose to Brandon Moreno, I know MMA math really isn't a thing, but I don't know, man. I think Alejandro Pantoja should really just move up and challenge Marab. Speaking of Marab, his top 5 contenders are Sean O'Malley, Peter Yan, Umar, Corey Sandhagen, and Davidson Figueiredo. He's already beat the top 3. Sean O'Malley's obviously getting the rematch, and in my honest opinion, I think Sean O'Malley's the most likely out of the 5 to beat him. I think Sean O'Malley makes the adjustments and doesn't have that torn labrum again. I think Sean O'Malley can catch him probably in the late rounds, to be honest. I think I'm not gonna say that Marab's gonna gas, obviously, but I think in the late round, Sean can catch him, hopefully, maybe not with the same body kick, obviously, but I think Sean can catch him with something big and put him away. Versus Peter Yan, I'm going to be honest, I don't see another way. In the fight that they had, he got dominated, and I didn't really see an opening for Peter Yan to make adjustments or anything, and Peter Yan wasn't hurt or anything, so I don't really see. I mean, it'd be good. Really, I do want to see Sean O'Malley versus Peter Yan. I think that's the real fight to make, but whatever. I'm excited Sean got another title shot. But yeah, like I said, I don't see Peter really having any openings for Marab. Umar, we saw how that fight went. I think if Umar were to ever challenge Marab again, he would need to grapple the whole time and lay prey, and he's gonna. I mean, that cardio is gonna need a boost for sure because after 2 rounds he was done. And maybe don't throw so much of the the kicks and like the flying shit that he was doing, but really he would. I see maybe a door for Umar to beat Marab, but it would be hard, man. Like I said, he would have to play and pray, and really, it would be a perfect night. Corey Sandhagen, I'm actually a big fan of Corey Sandhagen, but I think he would be too. I think he'd be too worried about the breakdown in the middle of the fight. He'd be too worried about what's coming next. He'd be too logistically thinking about it, when really he needs to be more in the moment. Like Davidson Figueiredo, I think Davidson Figueiredo is a fighter that's more in the moment. He's more, throw first, think later. He's still technical, but I think that he's more about the action, and I think that's kind of how you have to be if you're gonna beat a guy like Marab. You always have to be like threatening that action, threatening that pace, threatening something crazy coming your way, like Sean O'Malley or Davidson Figueiredo. I think Corey Sandhagen is too by the book. Umar, I don't think he's got good striking, but I don't think it's going to be the kind of crazy level that it needs to be like a Davidson Figueiredo or Sean O'Malley. And Peter Yan's great boxing, but like I said, I just didn't see any openings in the fight. If they were to rematch, I see it going the same way. I think Marab just holds him, clenches him. Maybe Peter gets a knee off or something, I don't know, man. Next off, we got Alex Volkanovski, and I'm not going to do Max Holloway or Ilya Topuria because they're both in lightweight now. But Diego Lopez, we just saw that fight. I think if they were to rematch, Diego could catch him and knock him out. I'm not going to say a fluke, but something along the lines of that, maybe, I don't know. I think he has the potential to. Yair Rodriguez, I think if they were to rematch right now, bro, I think the fight goes the exact same way. I think Volk is too technical for Yair. But Yair does a lot of crazy shit, and I just don't think it'll work against like some of these lower guys, man. But I think Volk's too technical. I think he'll just break him down too easy. I think he'll, probably another round 3 like TKO again. That's how I see that shit going. Movsar Evloev, we haven't seen him fight. I think he has the best chance of beating Volk right now, but in my honest opinion, I still see Volk defending all the takedowns. Maybe not all, obviously, but I see Volk defending the takedowns, and even if he gets him down, it's not like Movsar is this big finisher, and if he was able to defend the clinch work in the ground game from Islam, then I don't see Movsar getting this guy. He's very composed when he's on the ground. He doesn't panic. He's, you know, I trust Volk. I think Movsar does have the best chance though, because Arnold Allen and Brian Ortega we've seen. There's no way Brian Ortega's. I don't think Brian Ortega's even gonna get another title shot. Again, I don't see a path for him. If they were to rematch right now, same thing. I think Volk might even knock this guy out. Arnold Allen though. Arnold Allen's got great striking. He's only lost to some of the best guys. I think he lost to Evloev. I think he lost to Holloway. Can't remember who else he's beat. He's lost to. I know he's beat a lot of guys on the way up. He was undefeated at one point. He's got really good striking. I just don't think he's got good ground game too, but I just don't think it's enough to beat Volk. Next up though, we got Islam Makhachev. We got the pound for pound king. His number one contender is Arman Tsarukyan, and I actually think this is like his most challenging fight. We saw it obviously a few years ago. Everybody knows how that shit went. It was a close fight, but I do still think that this is his. I think these rankings do make a lot of sense because like Arman Tsarukyan, I do think is his most challenging fight, and I do think Charles Oliveira is his second most challenging fight. I know that Charles got subbed in 2022 when he won the belt, but I just still think the threat of Charles is there. Always, he's beat most of these other guys. Max Holloway fight doesn't count because the injury or whatever. Yeah, I still think Charles Oliveira is his second biggest threat. Obviously, for the same reasons. I mean, Arman Tsarukyan is kind of just like probably like a 10% less of what, from what we've seen. I would say he's just like 10% less of what an Islam Makhachev is. I mean, maybe the striking isn't too clean. I would say. I think because I think Islam's got like better boxing. If they were to go like boxing, I think Islam like fared good against Dustin Poirier, whereas I don't think Arman does that well against Dustin Poirier straight boxing. But he does have some weird striking. That like axe kick that he threw against Charles is weird. That's hard to hit, but that's really fucking impressive. Yeah. Also going on to Justin Gaethje, I think this is fair because he beat Rafael Fiziev, so I think he's fair. Maybe I would definitely throw Max Holloway above him. I think. Who's a bigger challenge for Islam, Justin or Max? I don't know. To be honest, Justin, Max, and Dustin, to be honest, are all kind of like the same level to me in like where they're at in their career, the levels of fighting, their skills, and the same level of like threat to Islam. Where I think that they all pose a threat, obviously, but I just don't think it's enough to beat Islam, bro. To be honest, especially where they're at in their. Max isn't as old as them, but still, man, with the mileage that he's put on, I think it's just I don't think it's enough, man. I'll also talk about the Ilya fight because obviously everybody wants to see the Ilya fight. I think Ilya would fit like right here in this number 2 spot. I think he would just be challenging enough because I think Tsarukyan would still be more of a challenge for Islam, but I still think Topuria has great Greco-Roman wrestling. He's got amazing boxing, better than Dustin, Max, Justin, whoever. He's always looking for the one-shot kill shot. I think he could potentially find it on Islam. It'd be hard. I think he would have enough wrestling to defend against Islam, but not beat Islam. Bilal Muhammad. Contenders are Sean Brady, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, and Jack Della Maddalena. In my honest opinion, JDM and Joaquin Buckley should both be above Kamaru Usman. I think 6 is fair for Kamaru Usman. His last fight was still at middleweight, and that was might have even been 2023, December like 2023, I think. Yeah, he should definitely be at like 6 because I think Kamaru above like Ian Gary's still fair. Above Gilbert Burns is fair. Colby Covington deserving, obviously. Above Jeff Neal, Stephen Thompson, come on, like those. Okay, he shouldn't be that low, but like I think 6 is fair for Kamaru Usman. Above JDM, who's about to fight for the belt, and Joaquin Buckley, who's coming off good performances and looking for a top contender himself. I think this is what you do. Maybe they're keeping him here to give him Joaquin Buckley, which is a fight that I do hope happens. Besides that, though, back to the topic, I think Bilal Muhammad versus Sean Brady, he TKO'd him in the first fight, maybe a little early stoppage in my opinion, but I still think he, whatever. So it counts as a loss. Brady takes it as what it is. I think it would be a closer fight. I still think Bilal would edge out the decision because I think he's more technical. If he can just negate the wrestling of Sean Brady, I think he would just edge out a decision over 5. Shavkat Rakhmonov. I don't know. I think this would just be I think this would be another Ian Gary kind of fight. I think this would be just a whole bunch of clinch work. Whoever's got the better clinch game, takedown defense. I mean, I would still, and I'm not gonna lie, I'd still probably pick Bilal Muhammad in this fight. Shavkat Rakhmonov, Bilal Muhammad. If this fight ever does get signed, maybe I'll change my mind. We'll have to see, you know, in the prediction later on. But as of right now, I still see, I think Bilal's just got too much momentum. I think he's too hot. If he beats JDM, I think he's going to be confident as fuck, and I think he's definitely going to beat Rakhmonov. If him and Leon Edwards were to rematch right now, I think Leon gets dominated worse than he fucking did the first fight. Instead of getting dunked on his head, Bilal Muhammad would probably just like kind of toss him over the cage at John Anik. After seeing what Sean Brady did to him, I just think like the de-confidence and the decline of Leon Edwards right now has got to be like crazy. His head's got to be a fucking mess. I don't know who he's hoping of fighting next, but if it's like, who do you even give him next? Fuck. I mean, you don't give him Joaquin Buckley, because I really want to see that Kamaru Usman fight. I hope that's locked up. JDM's fighting for the belt. You can't fight up the rankings. Who do you even give Leon Edwards, bro? A Gilbert Burns? Because I don't think we've ever seen... Yeah, we didn't see that fight win it. Sure, man. Give him a Gilbert Burns. You don't want to see a Colby Covington fight again. I guess Gilbert Burns versus Leon Edwards makes sense. Kamaru Usman. If he were to fight Bilal, I think it'd be a good... I think there'd be some great scrambles, but I think Bilal would be able to get up every single time. And then I still think Bilal... I think Bilal has better striking. I think he's more technical. I think he'd be safe as well. I don't think he'd really take any chances. I think he'd be too worried about Kamaru's wrestling, to be honest. But also I think he would kind of let some lenience off because of the age and the knees of Kamaru. Yeah, I just think Bilal would kind of edge that one out. I don't really see anybody finishing. Like I said, I don't see Bilal like finishing any of these guys. I just see him like kind of like edging it out, dominating, out techniquing them. Like literally Sean Brady. Probably, like I said, edge it out by decision. Shavkat Rakhmonov, it'd be just a ground war and probably edge it out by decision from technicality. Leon Edwards, I don't think he's gonna finish Leon again. Not again, but I don't think he would finish Leon anyways. I just think same thing. It'd be a domination worse than the first time. Kamaru Usman, I think it would be the same thing as Rakhmonov. And JDM, who's about to fight for the belt, I do think actually has the best chance in the top 5 to win because of how levels above the other 4 that his striking is. Maybe you can compare it to Leon, but I don't know, man. After seeing Leon in his last 2 fights, Sean Brady and Bilal, I don't think it's there, man. I don't think it's on the same level as JDM, especially because, like I mentioned in that matchmaking video, when I said that he's good, when I said that I want him to go against Pratis, he loves to go to the body and rip up top. Those boxing combinations are what I think is going to win him the fight if he can just push Bilal off of him, and if he can control the pace and make Bilal kind of fight his fight and get him backing up, then I think Jack wins this shit all day. Next up, we got Dricus du Plessis. He's good champion. I do think he actually survives most of the guys here. I see a lot of people like hyping up Anthony Hernandez right now after the Michel Pereira win. I know Michel Pereira. I like Michel Pereira, but I don't think that's like the best win. Oh, he also did beat Brendan Allen. That's true. Brendan Allen is good, but Brendan Allen makes dumbass decisions, bro. I still think Anthony Hernandez can like clear like Roman Dolidze, maybe a Jared Cannonier. Maybe a Robert Whittaker, but like the other 4, but I don't. Kyle Braulio, no. Israel Adesanya, no. Hamza Chimaev, no. Sean Strickland, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, don't know why I even brought that guy up. Yeah, Dricus du Plessis is a good champion. I think he survives a lot of these guys. I think he beats most of these guys. Nasruddin Imavov, I think it would be a good fight. I think it'd be a predominantly striking matchup, but I still think Dricus would kind of just goofy him some way and just flop him down onto the ground and maybe sub him, or fucking probably ground and pound TKO. I think Imava would like catch him early in the early rounds, round 1 or 2. He'd probably have a moment, but then yeah, I just think Dricus du Plessis would just goofball his way to a fucking win. If he was to fight Sean Strickland again, bro, I think it's going to be the same thing as the second fight. I think he's kind of figured him out, kind of got Sean's number, so self-explanatory. Hamza Chimaev, bro, one of the super fights, one of like 3 super fights that the UFC fans are like waiting for right now. And I'm fucking hyped for this. I'm like really hyped for this fight. I think Chimaev actually does win this shit. I'm not gonna lie. He's the only guy in the top 5 right now that I see beating Dricus. I really do. I'm a fan of Israel Adesanya. I know he gets a lot of hate. I'm actually a fan of Israel Adesanya, but if he were to even rematch du Plessis, I still see DDP beating him. Same thing with Robert Whittaker, bro. I think Robert Whittaker gets out of there even faster than the fucking first fight. And then for like a not like a hot take, but for like a special whatever, Kyle Braulio, I'm interested in seeing this. I do want Kyle to fight either Nasruddin, Nah, Hamza, bro. I do want Kaio to fight Nasruddin for like a #1 contender fight, because that would be some fresh blood in the top 5 as well. Maybe Robert Whittaker could scoot down one. And then if he wins, I think Kaio is like the same as Imavov, maybe a little better in my opinion. I think he would also be able to negate any kind of goofball wrestling that Dricus would like throw at him. I think he'd be able to negate that easily, and I think the striking would match, if not be like not match the style of Duplessis, but match kind of like the volume. And I think Kaio actually stands a good chance of like beating DDP. I think like the only two that I really do see beating DDP as of right now are like Caio Borralho and Hamza Chimaev. Yo, and in the light heavyweight division, we got Magomed Ankalaev, not the guy that I want to be fucking champion, not gonna lie. Not a guy that I think a lot of us want to be fucking champion. Contenders are Alex Pereira, Stonehands, Chalma. Bro, this is the guy that we want to be fucking champion. Bro, if you're celebrating Big Ank, for real, it's like, I don't dislike the guy. I just think he's got a little bit of fucking autism, and I just think he's boring, dog. Like, he knocked out Johnny Walker, welcome to the club, though. And I just think he's boring, dog. The fight with Alex was, like, middle level entertaining, bro. He rocked Alex, but you couldn't even take Alex Pereira down? I don't know, gay. I want to see Alex win in the rematch, I'm not gonna lie. Alex Pereira was a great champ. I think he's lost a little bit of aura since losing to Ank, but I don't know. If he wins the rematch, that shit can easily be regained. Yuri Prohaska versus Magomed Ankalaev. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I see Magomed just kind of edging this shit out. I think Yuri's a bit too goofy to keep up with the technique of Magomed Ankalaev. I don't think this shit would go to the ground for half a fucking second, to be honest. But yeah, I think Magomed would just edge that shit out. Carlos Olberg, I think, would be... He would definitely try to keep it on the feet. I don't think Magomed would... I mean, I was going to say Magomed would try to take it to the ground, but if you can't take Alex Pereira down, I don't think you're taking anybody to the ground. And plus, oh man, I don't know. I'm not going to throw that Paul Craig loss in there or whatever, but I don't know, dog. Carlos Olberg, I think, loses to him. I just think Magomed would edge out Olberg. Jamal Hill, I swear to God, they fought before. They have history. I just can't remember what the fuck the history is. If they were to fight like right now in this day, so I think Magomed just kind of edges it out again. Same thing as Carlos, same thing with Yuri. And Jan Blachowicz, I think, is actually a good... Yo, now, I know that these guys went to a fucking draw in like 2022, or maybe like January 2023 for the belt, and it got vacated. I don't mean the belt got vacated, I meant the fight went to a draw, so the belt was still vacant, and then I believe Yuri Prohaska won it after that versus Glover. I believe that was the fight after that, which was, you know, good fight. Rakic, I think, is maybe has a good chance. I don't know, man. Really, I don't see anybody else. Yeah, I just pray to God Pereira gets this shit done. Ain't gonna lie. Yo, in heavyweight, I'm not even gonna lie, dog. From like 7 down, this shit is actually sad. I know we all know this shit, but this is like actually sad. 1 through 6 is, well, you can't count 1 because that's fucking Tom. I'm gonna actually like go through how I think both of them fare against the like 2 through 6, because that's like, those are the only like good 5 contenders. John Jones, I'm not gonna lie, we saw him against Cyril Gahn. We saw what happened. I think the same shit would happen. John Jones versus Volkov, I'm sure he'd fucking maybe strike with Volkov a little bit, but then he would, you know, if he gets rocked, which I don't see Volkov rocking Jones, I think he would strike him with him for a little bit, but then I think he would just take him down, ultimately sub him. I think Sergey Pavlovich is like the same thing. I think Jones would literally like, maybe as Gahn, I think he would like fake a fucking right hand and then take him down. I don't think he would even play with fucking Pavlovich like that, to be honest with you guys. Curtis Blades, same thing. I think it would just be a big old wrestling exchange. I think it'd be some good exchanges, but I think after a minute, Curtis Blades would get more tired than Jones, and I think Jones would end up finishing him. Johnson Almeida, I think it'd be the exact same thing. I think it'd be really good scrambles for the first round. Maybe Almeida could sub, but I fucking highly doubt that shit. Match. Now, Tom Aspinall is kind of a different situation, though. Cyril Gahn, we have not seen this yet. This is one of the only guys that we haven't seen him fight. He's been calling for this fight forever, but Cyril Gahn's been fucking ducking him. I think it would be a good striking fight for a minute. I think it'd be kind of entertaining, but I think Tom pieces him up, actually knocks him out, just like how he does everybody else. I think it'd be a really good striking fight, though. Maybe, or to be honest, Gahn would probably back the fuck up and run the entire fight. He'd probably strike off the back foot and literally just run away from everything that Tom Aspinall throws. I think Volkov's definitely like improved since their last fight, him and Aspinall, but I still don't think it's enough to beat Tom Aspinall. I don't see him getting subbed again, though. I think if they fought this time, I think Aspinall would knock him out. Probably like round 2 or 3. Sergey Pavlovich, we saw what happens if they rematch. I actually think Sergey would be. He was already gun shy in his last fight, and I think if him and Aspinall were to fight again, coming off the like loss or whatever, I think fucking it'd be the same thing. I think he'd be insanely gun shy, and I think he'd be scared of everything that's coming his way. Curtis Blades, I think it's the exact same thing as Sergey, maybe just a little less scared. I think Curtis would be wanting to get in there to redeem that loss, but yeah, I don't know, bro. I think Curtis gets knocked out again, to be honest. I don't see the takedowns working for him. Jailton Almeida, I don't see like Tom Aspinall like Curtis blazing Jailton Almeida, kind of getting like that weird like shovel hook and just like knocking him out cold. But fucking, I do see Tom Aspinall probably like negating some of the wrestling, standing back up, and then forcing Jailton to his feet. And then once that confidence is kind of gone for the takedown, then I think Almeida's out the fucking door, to be honest. Yeah, guys, I'm not even gonna bother talking about these guys. I will say I am fucking excited for Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. I do want Kayla Harrison to win. If she wins, obviously we get her versus Amanda Nunes. I'd be hyped for that one too. But then after that, if she beats Amanda Nunes, one that's fucking sick. I don't think Amanda Nunes should come back, to be honest. But I guess it's really the only thing we got going, because if she doesn't come back and then Kayla wins, we get a rematch maybe. But after, I mean, who the fuck else do we care about? Yeah, no way. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up. Some of these champions on the screen have changed, but that's how I think the champion of each weight class fares against the top 5 contender of each weight class. I think most of them stay champ, to be honest. Most of them are pretty dominant right now. I can't really see most of them losing, besides maybe like a Dricus or a Bulk. And Ankalaev maybe again to Pereira, but really I don't see him. You know what I mean? I think we got pretty dominant champs right now. Maybe Bilal loses JDM. Yeah, but besides that, guys, let me know who do you think is the most like dominant champ. Let me know who you guys think is most likely to lose this year. But yeah, shit, besides that, man, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.